Okay, I guess we will we'll go ahead and get rolling here. I appreciate you all taking the time to join us. Coach, if you want to just start with an opening statement, just kind of your general thoughts for them about the way practice has gone and just us getting near the season here.
Yeah, we've been excited with the group and the effort level and the energy that we've had. Um, we've got some new faces that are going to have to contribute, but we also return a lot of players that got a lot of game experience last year, and we're excited about getting started as soon as possible.
Question.
Coach, so Natasha being is basically the focal point of this team. How do you how do you work your offense around her? And is there anything specifically that you can do to help space the floor out more?
Well, we're going to have to shoot the ball better than we have a year ago, and that's been a priority for us. And we didn't have them in June or July, but since we came back, we've spent more time shooting the ball than any team I've ever had. So we've tried to encompass that in all of our practices, and I really believe we've got better shooting the basketball. Kids have put in a lot of time and effort to that, and it has to do a lot with repetition and confidence. And to space the floor, you're going to have to make shots from the perimeter. We're also going to have to work practicing out of double teams, because there's going to be times that she's double, but we feel like we've got other people that can step up and make shots and have some balance within our offense. So Max got the ability to get points off offensive rebounds as well. So that's what's always helped her game. She can score a lot of times in transition. She's worked on her game to where she can step out to 15 feet. We're working hard to make her a better free throw shooter, but it's going to be important for other people to create balance and hopefully we'll have 3 to 4 kids in double figures every night.
And then how special is it to have a player of her caliber on this roster? And has there really been a comparison to her that since you've been coaching that you can directly correlate it to?
Well, we've had really good post players here, but Max got a lot of natural ability that she has just a real good feel for the game. We've had some really good rebounders here, and she's, in my opinion, the best rebounder that I've coached since I've been here. And it's not because of technique. It's not because she blocks anybody out. She just goes and gets it. And she's got a sense where the ball's coming off. And she's a young lady that enjoys rebounding. I think that's really important to her. When the game's over, she doesn't want to know what she scored. She wants to know how many rebounds she had.
And then my last question will be, you rotated Micah and Jamie last year a little bit. What are you expecting from both of them coming into this season?
Well, we expect both of them to play better. They got experience at young ages at the point guard position, but we feel like we've got another young lady in Lexi Keys that contend for a lot of minutes in that position too. So we think that we strengthened ourselves with depth and the experience that both Micah and Jamie got within our league. Jamie's been here now 3 years, and I think she's an X factor for us, that she needs to play extremely well. She needs to take the next step in her game for us to grow as a program.
Thanks, Coach.
Welcome.
I guess I'll go next. Hey, Coach, I wanted to say first off, hello. I don't believe we've ever gotten to meet face to face, but I guess in this day and age, this is about as good as we're going to get sometimes. So I'm Sam, and I'll be one of the O'Cauley guys covering the team. So I look forward to talking with you a lot more this year.
Well, Sam, look forward to meeting you in person and appreciate you covering the Cowgirls, and we'll help you any way we can.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Well, I guess wanted to ask a quick follow up on something Jacob raised. I thought was interesting. As someone who's I guess never certainly been a basketball coach of a D1 team, what does just constantly pounding the shooting drills and I guess the free throw drills to improve your team's shooting look like on a day in day out basis in practice? Kind of how much time are you putting in that?
Well, we're budgeting a lot of time out of our practice on that, and we also encourage our players to come in and get shots on their own. I've always felt that shooters are made on their own, what they do in the off season and the time that they're willing to put in. And, within a course of a 2 or 2.5 hour practice, you can't get enough shots up. So we tell our players that they're responsible for coming in on their own. We have guns, shooting guns. We have managers to rebound for them. And I just think great shooters make themselves. And we constantly stress to our players, it's what you do when a coach isn't watching that's going to determine your greatness.
Wow, I like that quote. That's a good quote. And I guess I'll ask you on another thing that you kind of talked about was the depth that you have this year. So, you kind of lost a few players this year, I guess most notably Vivian Gray. But what I'm interested in is you're bringing in some, I guess on paper, like really good additions. Like you said, Lexi Keys could compete for some minutes. I saw Taylon Collins was labeled as a 4-star. And even Brittany Reeves, she put up some monster numbers in her career thus far. So does replacing lost production involve individual players stepping up, or is that more of a team effort?
Well, I think it's got to be a point where you're not asking somebody to average 10 or 12 more points a game. It's getting 2 points here and 4 points here and becoming a little better defensively. And we didn't rebound the ball well enough last year. And we think that the maturation of Abby Winchester and KB Starr and Cassidy DeLapp, and then adding Brittany Reeves and Taylon Collins will all help us in the rebounding category. And and I guess in answer to your question, Sam, it's we can't ask Mac to score 10 more points a game. It's got to be done throughout our team, and everybody's got to improve a little bit in shooting, how you defend, how you rebound, and that's where you get it, is collectively.
Yeah, certainly. That makes sense to me. And the last question I'll ask you is, on the Cowgirl soccer beat, their off season was kind of ravaged because of COVID, and they weren't able to really meet together. And I thought it was interesting, maybe if that kind of bled over into the team maybe not meshing as well, or not being able to have as many minutes in practice. So I'm not sure what your off season looked like this year. I assume it was at least a little different. But like you said, with the shooting having to improve just through reps and practice time. Do you think the I guess shortened or altered off season had an effect on your team at all?
Well, I think that remains to be seen, Sam. Usually we're here the month of June and give our players the option of being here in July, and we didn't come back until August 3rd. Some of our players were able to find parks to get into and gyms to get into in the latter part of their time at home. But I know that they put in a great deal of time when they have had the resources to get in a gym here at Oklahoma State. So I think our kids did everything they possibly could within the framework of COVID, and now it's what they're putting in now that's going to be very crucial.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking in my bottom right corner here at myself, and hopefully my shirt wasn't too hard on the eyes for you, but I really appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I'm Ben Hutchins, the guy who looks a lot like my brother Sam Hutchins. I'm also going to be on the Ocali beat covering you guys this season, so I'm really looking forward to it.
We'll look forward to working with you, man. Appreciate you covering us.
Yeah, Coach, and you kind of talked a little bit about it earlier to Jacob and then even Sam about the shooting and how important that's going to be this season. Have you noticed any one player, or maybe even a few different players, coming into the gym on their own time to put up some shots?
Well, we know that players have come in a lot on their own. They've requested time from the managers. We're limited on how many hours that we could be with them throughout the week, but you could just tell in their game that a lot of them have got in the gym. They're growing in their ability to score the basketball, and we monitor every shot every day and give the kids constant feedback on what they shot from the free throw line, what they shot from overall field goal percentage in their three. So since we've come back and started all of our official practices, our kids have had every shot tracked and monitored, and I think that's helped them see that they're improving on a daily basis.
And who are some of those people, like you said, just coming in and taking shots up? I guess statistically, last season, Jimmy Asbury was your best three-point shooter. Do you think that still kind of remains to be the case, your best three-point shooter?
You know, I think Lauren Fields really improved a lot in that phase of the game. Jamie Asbury's I think all of our kids have put in a great deal of time, but you know, Jamie's shots pure. She's got good arch. She's got good backspin. She's got good eyes, shooter's eyes, and I think she's in a position where she's going to have a really good year for us.
Wait, I've heard about a good arch. I've heard about good backspin, but something kind of you said intrigued me there. What's a good shooter's eye? What does that mean?
Well, you know, there's the speed of this game, especially for young players. You get your eyes looking all over the place at times, and it's. I grew up with baseball players as kids, and you know, you've got to be able to see your target. You got to be able to watch the ball when you're hitting. You got to be able to watch your target and have focus in your eyes. And that's kind of what I mean by that. Great shooters have great eyes, and their ability to focus and look over the front of the rim has got to be very consistent.
Yeah, that's interesting. And my last question for you, Coach, regarding like three-point shooting, is do you think you can get an accurate feel for how effective a player is at three-point shooting in practice, or do you kind of have to see how they perform in that aspect during a game when the lights are brightest?
You know, that's a great question. What I've found out over the years is what a player shoots in practice, you could take probably 8 to 10% off when the game comes around. So, you know, we're encouraging our kids, their numbers need to be around 45 to 47% from the three. When you're not being guarded in drills, when you don't have the speed of the game, when you don't have the lights on, the pressure, your numbers are going to go down when you get in game settings. But you know, we've encouraged our kids to be around that 45 to 47, and then in games you should be around 35 to 37. But that's an area that we got to grow, and a lot of it has to do with not only putting in time, but what your shot selection is, having the ability to have the decision-making process of what's a good shot, what's a shot that's hurried, turning this down, making one more pass to a teammate. So it doesn't only have to do with time spent in the gym and technique. It has to do with your shot selection as well.
Gotcha. Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Hey, Coach, I don't know. Weber, I'll also be covering the women's basketball team with the O'Colly, so it's great meeting you for the first time.
No, glad you're part of our program.
Thank you. So a little bit, Jacob touched on it a little bit. I just wanted you to talk a little bit about the guard battle, but if there was one between Asbury and Dennis, and what does the development look like this offseason? And do you anticipate a starter between them? Do you anticipate both to start? I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that.
You know, I believe Jamie's in a position to start for us right now. She's got a lot of experience. She had some good games last year. The biggest thing that she's got to do is continue to grow as a leader on the floor and be able to run her team. But she put in a lot of work in the off season. She was afforded the ability to find a gym and get in the gym, and I think she's the leading candidate right now for our point guard position.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Could you touch a little bit on Micah Dennis's development and what her kind of off season looked like from what you were able to see?
Micah's gotten better. She's shooting the ball better. She's playing with a lot more confidence than she did a year ago. It's tough sometimes to be a freshman in this league and have a lot of demands thrown on you when last year we were playing predominantly against the junior and senior league as far as point guards go. So experience makes a big difference within the Big 12, and we're hoping that the experience that all these guards got will equate to success on the floor for us.
Thank you. So what do you expect Micah Dennis's role to look like this season? I know you were talking about Asbury. It looks like she's going to be the starter, but what is Dennis's role going to look like?
Well, I mean, that kind of depends too. I think we're going to have to play a lot of players and have a lot of players ready. We missed June and July conditioning, and we scrimmaged last week, and I just wasn't pleased where we were with our shape. So I think in the early going, we're going to have to play a lot of people and get a lot of people in the game, and obviously how they produce will dictate minutes. I mean, I'm not ruling any of our players out with the way 2020 has been. You better prepare 1 through 14 because you don't know how many you're going to have come night to night. I mean, I would be shocked if every program in America doesn't have some kids setting out during some course of the season. So that's what's been important for us. We come into practice each day trying to prepare every kid as though they're a starter.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So a player that we didn't get to see last season, Kennedy Jackson. So what are your expectations for her this season, and what role do you expect her to have? I know you talked about having a bunch of kids play, but is there an expected role you had for her?
Well, Kennedy's in a very deep position right now. I mean, you got Mac that's going to play major minutes. You got KB Sarr being a senior. You got Abby Winchester being a senior. You got the junior college transfer and Brittany Reeves. You got Cassidy DeLapp. So she's got to crack a lot of experience and kids that have played a lot of minutes. So she'll need to play well to earn minutes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Coach.
You guys still there?
Yep. Anybody have anything else for Coach?
Actually, I think I'll ask one more kind of to complete my little Word document of pre-prepared questions I had before everyone gets off. So sorry about that. I guess my question was, with Natasha Mack, I don't think it can be overstated. Natasha Mack coming off a great year last year and, racked up some preseason accolades. How, I guess, I don't know if it's tempting or, necessary is it for you to do you think the offense will be run more through the post just to get her as many touches as possible? How do you think this post offense will compare to years past?
We've changed. It's a great question. We've changed what we're running offensively, and it's more post oriented than it's been in the past. And it's not only for Natasha; it's also that we have more depth and experience at that position, and where we've tried to play probably some smaller lineups in the past, we're going to play more double post offenses, high-low formations, and try to get looks inside. But again, what we're looking for, a change in what we had a year ago. Instead of having two players scoring the basketball, we're looking to look up at the end of the night and have four people in double figures. And I think that's what equates to success. If somebody has a bad night, somebody else is there to fill in for them. And I think we've got capabilities of doing that. And it's just getting some of these kids game experience right now and seeing where we need to go after that.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
All right. Anything else for Coach before we let him go?
I just have one more question. So we've already talked about determining starters. Me and you talked about that for a little bit, but what traits do you look for in your starting guards when you decide who you're going to put out there in your starting five?
I think a big part of it is competing every day, being consistent, having the ability to shoot and score, and defending your position, and also playing without turnovers. The really good guards that we've had here take care of the basketball and play without turning the ball over. And I think that will separate our guards. Shooting, the ability to play without mistakes, and having it in you where you can run the offense. I believe great guards have the ability to make the other people around them better. And we're just going to see on a daily basis who makes all of our other players better. And I think that's a point guard trait. Tiffany Bias made every player better around her. Lauren Goodwin, Andrea Riley, those type of kids. And we need those kids that we're talking about to emerge, not only make themselves better, but make their teammates better as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet.